Kia ora everyone, and welcome to Weekender at 5, where we bring you the biggest news headlines from New Zealand and India. My name is Preeti Garude, and I'll be your host for this evening. Let's look at the main headlines of the day. There are 103 new cases of COVID in the community. The ministry said 94% of eligible people in New Zealand have had their first dose, and 88% are fully vaccinated. New laws will ensure young people will never legally purchase cigarettes, with the age of a ban on sales rising each year, Associate Health Minister Aisha Vareli says. The government plans to have a bill supporting the changes introduced by June 2022 and then passed by December that year to take effect in 2023. New Zealand will become the first country in the world to take such a step. The Associate Health Minister said the sale and supply of cigarettes to people aged 14 would be outlawed from the time the law comes into effect, with the age rising each year. It would likely mean anyone born after 2009 would be unable to buy cigarettes in perpetuity, though the exact timing would be set down in legislation and subject to consultation. Make your night outs with your mates one to remember for the right reason. That's the message from police to Aucklanders planning to head out and celebrate the festive season. Operation Summer is launching this week in the lead up to Christmas, with police expecting large crowds of revelers heading into the city centre to drink and celebrate the end of the year. Senior Sergeant Mark Clayton from Auckland City Police says, with hospitality venues such as bars and nightclubs reopened under the traffic light system, they're expecting Aucklanders to flock into town on Friday and Saturday nights. Every week in the lead up to Christmas, Auckland City Police will be deploying a large number of staff to patrol the streets around CBD on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights, as well as other popular hangout spots in Auckland, such as Mission Bay, to ensure that people are behaving safely, complying with any public liquor bans, and to prevent any disorder. India failed to find a single mention in the Trade Minister Damien O'Connor's speech at the Auckland Trade and Economic Policy School, organised by the Ministry for Foreign Affairs and Trade, once again confirming a growing and worrying concern among some key stakeholders that India remains a low priority for this government. At the event, the minister was outlining New Zealand's trade policy and priorities. Indian Weekender Sandeep Singh has a full report on this story developing on our website. India's squad for the South Africa series has been revealed, with Rohit Sharma named as one-day captain and Virat Kohli to lead in tests. India will be locking horns with South Africa in the 3 tests and 3 one-days. The series is set to begin on Boxing Day. Keeping the spirit of cricket alive, Indian Weekender spoke to Rahul Doshi, founder of PORS and Rainbow Corner Childcare Centre, on a first-of-its-kind deal inked with the ICC for the upcoming Women's World Cup. Thanks to this partnership, every host stadium during the 4-week tournament will have a PORS pop-up childcare service available to look after the kids while their parents and caregivers watch as 8 nations battle it out for World Cup glory. For Rahul Doshi, the sponsorship deal represents 2 of his passions: cricket and encouraging more children and family into sports, and thus was a natural collaboration. Let's find out more. So Rahul, thank you so much for joining me on Indian Weekender, all the way from Mumbai in India. And this is a perfect time to have a chat with you about the deal that PORS has signed, for the first of its kind, that PORS has signed with ICC Women's Cricket World Cup, where you will be providing childcare and support for at the stadiums where we will be having the matches. Now, I was very excited when I saw the news that came out, and I wanted to have a chat with you to just try and see as to how did this come about, and why has it not been done before?
Well, there's a first time for everything, Preeti. But firstly, thank you for getting in touch. I think it's an absolute pleasure to have a chat with you guys, the Indian Weekender, because you guys stand up for all the right causes. So very happy to be a part of this. First off, it's kind. Yes, I'm a bit of a character, if you can call me, to try and push the boundaries a bit more if we can, for the right reasons, obviously. One thing we realized is, as a group, we primarily focus on education very heavily, but at the same time, all of our childcare centers as well have playgrounds in them too. So sport is endemic that we include as a part of our offering to the community. One of the things we observed was, as a community, not just New Zealand, but globally, I think there is a big push required to promote women's sport.
Mm.
And mums are somebody that we genuinely care about
Yeah.
because they look after our tamariki at all times. So this was a perfect blend for both entities, the ICC World Cup and also PAWS, to get into this beautiful joint venture where we can help and bring our mums and the kids to the stadiums during the games.
Yeah. So now let's talk about what exactly is going to be provided to the mums who will come to the games. And if you can just give me a little bit more detail as to, you know, what entails as a part of it, and if it's across New Zealand. Are we talking across New Zealand?
Yeah, all stadiums in New Zealand, the facility will be provided. And the important part is that we cover all events. So the idea is every single game during the World Cup, we will be providing the service uninterrupted.
Mm-hmm.
So it will start an hour before the game and will be there an hour after the game as well. What that means is essentially there'll be a pop-up childcare, if I can put that in simple terms, at every stadium. It's beautiful, where the families can have a time together as a family, go to the game, enjoy the game, while the child is actually getting exposed to a World Cup event, which is fantastic.
Yeah. And these pop-up centers would be supervised by
Yes,
PAWS
yes.
and Rainbow staff.
Yes, well, we've been in the sector for 26 years now,
Yeah.
so we've pretty much boxed that part out very well.
Yeah. And I understand that these pop-up centers or pop-up childcare centers, and I really love the way that goes together. These pop-up childcare services were also provided for an Auckland Blues game previously at Eden Park. Have you done that over a time period, or has that something been like a precursor to an experiment for this?
No, really, it all started with the Blues. So definitely take my hat off to the Blues for actually going that extra mile as well. So yes, we did that for the entire season last year with the Auckland Blues, and we'll continue for this season as well. So that went well. The response was great, and this became a wonderful experience for us as well, saying, hang on, let's start pushing our boundaries, as you rightly said, and look at like a much bigger event where it's just in getting families there. That's the best part. Get the families there. It's a family event. Get there, enjoy the sport, enjoy the time.
Yeah. And what sort of reactions are you getting from like within the sporting community and within the community as such, like the extended community as such, when you talk to them about these pop-up childcare services centers?
The response has been quite overwhelming. They've been highly supportive with this initiative, because it's first, no one else has done this globally before as well, for a major tournament like this one. So yes, very encouraging. So glad to have that support. Yeah. And the next step now is executing it.
Yes, definitely. And are you, in terms of future planning now, because obviously we have to start thinking about beyond that as well, are you thinking of also reaching out to other stadiums across New Zealand to sort of make this or other teams across New Zealand to make this like a repetitive thing, because that would be something that would be appreciated by a lot of moms?
Definitely, yes. There's more on the cards. I can't reveal too much, unfortunately, because it's still, there's a bit of an embargo on that. But yes, more to come, yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. And then my final question would be, who would you support, India or New Zealand, in the World Cup?
Look, whichever team I support, I think I will be a lucky person. One way or the other, if we win the cup, then either I can keep it back home in Auckland, which will be fantastic, or I can travel back with the Indian team either ways.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that, Rahul. I think I really appreciate you taking the time out and having a chat, and good luck on the execution of this during the World Cup.
Thank you. I'll just add a point on this, Preeti, as well, in terms of who wins out of this in terms of a team. I think the biggest winner is our children.
Yes.
And I'm well, because that's where our heart is aligned to. They will turn out to be winners, and that's the best thing that we can stand up for as a group as well.
Yeah. Fantastic, and I think that's a perfect thing to close on. So I thank you again for joining me, and have a safe trip back home.
Thank you so much, Preeti.